Hi, this is Trey Pastor, and this is my comic book update. I haven't done one of these in a while. I apologize for that. I have been collecting still, but I kind of lost track. The last time I bought comics, I did them and I put them to the side. I didn't show them, but I want to show them now because I have some interesting titles. And let me adjust the camera a little bit. No, not that way. There we go. Okay, there we go. Anyway, I have a few titles here, and I've been collecting mostly, like I said, the DC comics. Okay, so let me show you, and I want to show you two of the comics that I got because I think they're very interesting. Okay, last but not, well, let me just show you in the order that. Okay, you have Death in the Family, issue number 13 of the Batman, which is really becoming my favorite comic of the new DC 52. Okay, haha, and I don't know if you can see that. It says a big ha there, and that's Death in the Family, issue number 13. Okay, and then this is number 14 of the Batman's. Okay, Death in the Family. Okay, there it is. I don't know if you can see that real good, who that is on the covers. Pardon the shading there, but I'll show you. Anyway, then we have the Red Outlaws, Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 14. They're guest starring Superman. Okay, and then you have the Blue Beetle, which is another favorite of mine. Okay, the new 52 titles, and last but not least, the Justice League, issue number 14. There it is. Now you can see that good enough. There it is. Okay. And that has the possessed Superman fighting Batman there, and Wonder Woman trying to stop him. Okay. Cyborg looking on in the Flash. Anyway, the two comics that I'm going to read to you are issues of the Batman, issue number 13, okay, which has, of course, the Clown Prince of Crime is back, the Joker right there, and issue number 14, okay, so we'll start with 13, okay, and it begins basically with Bullock, Lieutenant Bullock and James Gordon talking basically about the state of Gotham and how there are omen signs coming before what's happening begins. Like, the Gotham River being flooded, the lion at the Gotham Zoo giving birth to a deformed cub with two heads. And he's basically telling Gordon we should have seen it coming. And they're talking about it. And they figure that's a sign that the next big crime wave is coming. Okay, and he's basically they're talking about Gordon's talking about his smokes that where he's kept them hidden all over the place, that basically they've been found everywhere, his smokes. And okay, and he only has one hiding spot left at his house, and Bob is going to find it pretty soon. His daughter, Barbara Gordon, of course. And as they're talking, they're walking along right there, and then if you look at the last panel right here, a van pulls up at the police station, and then you see a foot getting out. Okay, and they're talking about a case. They show the police station. They're talking about a case, and Gordon's giving wisdom to a young cop right there. And then all of a sudden, Gordon looks down and he sees somebody. And he goes, "No, not you." And you see the panel right here where he's looking, where you see right there. You see his look right there. He goes, "Not you." Then all of a sudden the lights go out right there, which is this. And then basically you hear the cops talking, and Gordon's yelling at the Joker to put his hands up, and he can't see anything, but all he's hearing is people's, cops getting killed left and right. He's panicking, and he's pulling out his gun, as you see right there. And meanwhile, the Joker's going around in the dark killing cops. And then, of course, it tells you the Joker's back. Death in the Family. Okay, and you see that shot that's on the cover of the next issue, actually, for the Joker. Basically looking at members of the Bat family. Nightwing, Batgirl, okay, Red Robin, Okay, and it tells you basically that it's going to continue in issues 13. You know, it's going to be in all the bad issues and stuff. This arc. Okay, and then like I said, you see Gordon going around. He's looking in the dark. You know, he's flashing his light right here, looking for the Joker, and he's hearing him talking. You know, he's hearing him mocking him. Then all of a sudden, you see Batman show up. Okay, and then he's gone. He says that basically he's gone. And of course, let's turn that around to the next page. Okay, and then you see Batman or Bruce Wayne in the Batcave. You know, he's talking with Alfred, and they're basically talking about the Joker, about how he's been away for a while, and that he knew eventually, and he hoped he'd never come back, but of course he's back. Okay, and basically stopped him before. Basically, Bruce told him I stopped him before I stopped him again, but Alfred's being is worried actually. And then you see, of course, the young Damian Wayne right there, who's the new Robin. He comes down and he's saying, "Come on, Alfred. You know, Joker used to be some great adversary of my father's, but he's over now. I mean, he allowed some second-rate Frankenstein to get the better of him, cut his face off. And then he slumped off for a year to lick his wounds. Now he comes back and steals his face. So what? Okay," he said, "Don't." And Bruce is telling him, "Don't underestimate, you know, the Joker." Okay, and he said he didn't let the doll maker get the best of him. He allowed his face to be cut off. He left it there for a message, like a message. A message, yeah. He basically saying yes. And then Bruce, of course, is alerting all the members of the Bat family that the Joker is back and to be on the lookout. You see, he's telling Nightwing, Red Robin, and Batgirl, as you see in the picture right there. I know you can see that very good. He's telling them to be on the lookout because the Joker is back. Okay. Okay. And you see, next thing you see is the Joker. He interrupts the feed. Alfred notices that he's on TV. The Joker has broken into a broadcast. Okay. And right there, he's basically getting a guy to, you can't see. I mean, if you have to look real close. He's basically telling everybody, you know, the mayor is going to die tonight. He's forcing a guy. He has a guy dressed up as the Joker, and he hasn't basically have him tell everybody that the mayor is going to die tonight. Okay, and you see, if you see in a panel right here, he has a gun basically on the guy, and he's forcing him to say, you know, everything that he wants to say, that basically that he's back, the Joker's back, and the mayor Haiti dies tonight, and the Joker has spoken. But just because the mayor don't think he may or may not die, he's dead as a baby smashed with a crowbar at midnight. And sometimes I just kill me. And then he said, please, you know, he's begging the Joker not to kill him. Right there in that panel right there. But of course, bang, the Joker kills him. You see that big bang up there. You see the big bang right there. Of course, he kills him. Right on TV. And then, of course, Alfred's saying, basically, he's saying that that the Joker is recreating his old crimes and stuff, and basically Batman is telling, no, that he doesn't need any help. You need to just watch your back, and it's between him and me and the Joker. There we go. Okay, now you see all the cops with the mayor are protecting him. Right there, all the cops are there. And of course, Batman's in the elevator on the lookout. And he's monitoring the mayor and make sure that all this, you know, the water's clean, the vents are clean, security's clean. And he's basically saying, what do you mean? He says, what do you mean when he said you already had his calling card? And it's talking about his face. Batman, I don't know, Jim. And then basically, you know, he's sensing that Gordon is really scared this time. That's what, the panel was Batman is thinking about Gordon, and he's thinking that this, for the first time, he's seen him actually show fear. Okay? Of course. And then Batman's thinking, okay, and he basically figures out the reenacting of his former crimes and the mission of the card, that he realizes, oh, it's everyone else, that the Joker didn't kill the mayor, he killed everybody else, all the cops. He poisoned, you see, all the other cops that are guarding him got infected with his Joker venom. Okay, he put it on their clothes, he said, and the other half of it got activated by the cleaner that they used to clean the floor in the mayor's office, and that's what activated that Joker venom, the Joker venom. Of course, so everybody's dead. Again, some more cops are dead. And then you see Batman, he figures out, let me see, he gets a clue. Oh yeah, about where the toxin comes from. That there's a warehouse that only, that sells them. And he figures out that that's Joker's going back to where he was created. Okay? And of course, that place is the plant, he says he's been waiting for Batman. And there he is, dressed up like the Red Hood. Oh, you can see that. There he is. And he's saying, basically, you're not the Joker. You're not him. Where is he? And then you see Batman gets knocked right here by a big, I guess if you call it big mallet. It gets knocked down and gets knocked into this vat right there. Big drum, I guess. And then you see that it's really Harley Quinn. Okay? And she's basically telling Batman, he's not the same. He's not my Mr. J anymore. And what he's going to do to you, his plan, I can't. And then basically he's screaming at her to tell him where the Joker is. Okay, and then you see it cuts back to Wayne Manor, and you hear somebody scratching on the door, and then it's the two-headed lion, that cub that was born in the zoo. Okay, and then all of a sudden you see it's the Joker right there. Knock, knock, and he's ready to knock the crap out of Alfred. Okay? And then, of course, it begins with issue number 14. Okay? I'm just going to go through this so I don't last forever. And basically, Batman screaming at Harley, where is Joker? Where is he? Okay? And, of course, Batman, with his bat tools, he escapes, put on this little gas mask, and he escapes and blows up the thing, and he escapes. And he's scanning, looking for somebody, but he doesn't. But his equipment got damaged, so he can't really sense anybody. And he returns back to the Batcave, and he's looking for Alfred. But Alfred's nowhere to be seen, of course. And he's looking all around, right there, looking for Alfred. Okay, and he sees a tape, and he puts it in. And basically it's from the Joker telling him that he doesn't mind that he borrowed Alfred, because he needs he's planning a special celebration for you-know-who. I hear he's simply the best. And basically Alfred's telling him he's sorry, this denigrating waste of it. And he's basically, you think you're blindfolded, intimidated? He said, you're not blindfolded. But Joker's telling him, I burn your eyes with ammonia. I'll do it again for fun. And then you hear Alfred screaming. And of course, Batman gets mad and smashes the tape. And then you see Commissioner Gordon in his bedroom right here. Why not? Right here. Right here. On his bed, and he's nervous. And then, of course, it's Batman there. Pulls his gun, of course, but it's Batman. And he's telling, Commissioner Gordon that Alfred kidnapped Bruce Wayne Butler. He's saying he's planning something special celebration. And, and Gordon is telling him basically that he hates his Joker because the Joker, at least everybody else has some kind of logic. But the Joker has no logic. He's a lunatic. Okay? Okay, he's basically, Batman's telling Gordon that the next target is you. Okay? He said the company where Crime Material label is called Gordon, that had the tape that he gave to him was a company called Gordon, so he figures that's a clue that Gordon's the next target. Okay? And he's basically telling Gordon he's a safe location for him to go, but he's saying, Gordon said he doesn't want to go. The hell you are. I'm not going to any bat safe house. Okay? And he said, just come, Jim. He said, I'm not leaving my men. Okay? He says, basically said they're on the front lines. He said 19 of them has died already. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give in. Okay? So the Joker. Okay? And basically, he's basically telling, and Jim Gordon, of course, is, you know, he's nervous as hell, so he's reaching for that last pack of cigarettes that he has hidden in his house, and basically Batman's telling him, hold on, it'll be okay. But of course, you find out that the Joker has got to those cigarettes, and he's basically poisoned Gordon. And see, he's bleeding out. If you look at that real close, you can see the blood. He's bleeding out Gordon. Okay, and he's in the, and basically Batman's having a discussion with Nightwing. And he's telling him basically he lost a lot of blood. Gordon lost a lot of blood. They gave him Coragelant to stop him from bleeding out in time, but the thinner Joker used to derivative. He said that rough stuff. Luckily, Jim's stable for now, but he should be all right. He says, "I got your message. Joker's after us all the time. Hey, a family affair." And basically telling him so. He said, "Okay." He said, and Commissioner Gordon's first on the list. Earlier today, he took, you know, he's telling him that he took Alfred. Of course, you know, Nightwing and Dick is stunned, of course, at that. And he's basically telling, you know, that, you know, Dick is asking him why is he, you know, refusing to help. Why is he, you know, calling him Alfred, you know, Bruce Wayne's butler. He's Alfred. And Bruce is saying, you think this is easy for me? Dick, the man who raised me, he's going to father me for as long as I can remember. And right now, that psychopath has him. I ask you to meet me here to save time. Every minute we lose, every second Alfred's in greater danger. You don't want to use code. Fine, I don't give a damn about code either. He said, I know it's for the rest of the thing. They hear Alfred's missing, and he wants Dick not to tell Barbara or Damian or Jason Todd that Alfred's missing, because he said if they find out, they'll want to come after the Joker hard, and they'll let their emotions get the best of them. Okay, they'll go after him, and he'll have the advantage because they won't be in control. He already said he's after them to you, and you don't know that they can't handle it. You say, I can barely control myself, Dick, and I don't want to risk anybody else. So, they have that discussion, and then he says, he's saying, Bruce, he said, I know where the Joker's going to be next. He said, no, I'm going alone. What the hell you are if you think you are? He said, I need you to go to the Aqueduct, Dick, to that, because the Joker, like he said before, is recreating his old crimes. He's picking and choosing from earlier encounters, redoing them, but in new, inventive ways. You think he's going to poison the reservoir? He said, I don't know, but I need you at the pipeline, okay? And then he goes somewhere different, of course. Okay, and he's basically discussing in his head. Focus on the case, the blood thinner on Gordon. The company makes chemicals to treat the reservoir, and the reservoir was the site of your first face-to-face with the Joker. Your first real battle with him, and it was there that you first saw him, really saw him for who he was, where you understood what you were facing in him. And it was where you saw you right back. And, of course, there he is, on the bridge. Okay? Okay, and then Batman is saying, where's Pennyworth? He said, what, no hugs, no kisses, not even a batarang to the head? He said, you're holding a remote. I make a move and you start pumping poison to the reservoir. Isn't that how it went the last time? Oh, you remember. This is how we met the last time, didn't we? Back when you were full of vim and vigor. Okay, and basically the Joker is saying, see, that's the thing. It's always business with lately. Businesses. So this time I took the care of all that early so we can relax and have ourselves a nice face-to-face chat. You know, face-to-face. Of course, you see the Joker right there with the bandages around since he had his face removed. Okay? Took care of what? Well, our business, of course, he tells him. Okay? What was going to happen between us? Here. What are you talking about? He tells him, see, in a moment, you'll get a call that you're waiting for to make your decision. You'll decide to make your move. You throw that batarang from behind your back, just like the last time. And you see Batman has the batarang like that. He said, and wham, I get hit. But being fast, I push my remote and poison the water. And you call it your little friend, the one who's used to be Robin Nightwing, isn't it? And he'd blow the aqueduct. Batman, I'm arriving at that. And then you see a big explosion with Nightwing getting blasted. And then, you know, he's telling, then we fight, you save the city, and we get a few people. Again, the same as I got last time, the ones who pull the water before it gets piped down into the city. Funny, basically telling him he knows how it went the last time, and how you how you I got a few people again in the same handful I got last time, the ones who pull their water before it gets piped down. And he basically tells them they put up condos for the young and uppity. See, as they're the ones I like to get. I went ahead and, well, I got them. So he has them, you see that? He has them down in the reservoir right there. Okay? See, it's all done. He's telling Batman, basically, he's done it all. And then Batman calls him a sick maniac, and then he shoots this laughing teeth at him and ties Batman up. Right there. See, Batman gets tied up. Okay, and then you see cue them, basically Joker saying, okay, he's basically telling him, listen, see, now we can chat, my king and I. You're nothing to me, but he says, shh, don't do that. Don't pretend. Not here, not to me, your faithful court jester. And what does it jester do if not deliver news to the king? Bad news, especially the worst. The fleet has holes. The armies turn passive. The children's hands are rotted off, and they can't clap for the fairies. Basically, the jester's the only one who will hear it from the one who can make him laugh. And that's what I've tried to do for you, Bats. Deliver the worst news of your heart directly to you, and boy, do I have some for you tonight. So let's cue the music. Okay, I'll clear my throat and speak as loud as I can. I'm going to say it so your little bat family can hear it too over the police wire. So you're there? Are you listening, little bat kitties? Good, because I know who you are. He's basically telling them he knows all their identities. You know who they are. Okay, and he says he has everything in this little notebook, and he's going to destroy them one by one. Okay, and then you see a nice shot. He's basically telling them that, well, I guess we'll see, but I'll tell you this: in little bats and birds, within 72 hours, you'll all be dead. And here's the punchline: Batman here will be the one who kills you. Next to Joker makes things personal. Okay, and then you have that nice shot of all the Bat family down there. Right there. You can see that clearly. Right there. And then that's the end of this issue. So that's my comic book update for, I guess, November. Okay, 2012. So this is Trey Pass. Let me know what you think if you picked up these titles, and if you, especially the Batman issue. I think this is the best comic, the best written and drawn comic going right there today on the market. Let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below. And this Trade Pastor saying so long and